Welcome back in one of the Bears Probably Plays YouTube channel. Today is Monday. It is March 3rd, and I'm back bringing us more plays for the NBA. We've got a couple games to talk about, some big games between the Rockets and the Thunder, but might not be a big game after looking at the injury report. Hopefully it is a good game, but looking like it might not be. Before we get to that game, let's talk about the games we had on Saturday. Start with Boston going up against Denver. Boston dominating the first quarter. It was Al Horford and Derek White. Jaylen Brown did a little bit of work. Tatum was nowhere to be found, had him over the 30.5 points. Crazy number, crazy high number, but no Porzingis, no Drew Holiday. Boston gets it done, took the minus 3.5. It came out at 2.5 or 1.5. But by the time you guys could take it Sunday morning, it jumped up to 3.5, 4.5. So I decided to take it against the spread, and it worked out to win the game by 8 points. 110 to 102, I believe, final score. We have the T-Wolves tonight, plus 1.5 going up against the Suns. That game has not started yet. We also have Edwards, 27.5 points in that game as well. So right now, 1-1 before we get to the games for Monday. Remember, you can get into the NBA Street Contest. Here are the rules right here. Just pause the video if you want to get in. I'm not going to talk about too much. Here's an updated leaderboard. The only person who went in today was Dennis. Gets the win with Jalen Brunson, 24.5 points. My man had 5 points at the half. I think he finished the game with 31 going up against the Heat. So huge second half for Jalen Brunson there. He's on 2. Other people, Emish Jr., I believe, is on 2. King is on 1. And Jaden is on 1. I need Anthony Edwards tonight to get myself back to 1 because Dylan Brooks did not hit for me on Saturday. So that is what the leaderboard looks like. If you want to get in, I will put your name right here, and you can just start with us right here. So that's what it looks like. If you guys want to get in, more power to you. It's free to play. Just comment a player prop down below on the videos, and the longest streak at the end of the NBA season wins that jersey. Let's go take a look at the plays for Sunday. We are going to start with the Mavericks going up against the Kings. The Kings will be without Domantas Sabonis in this game. Could be a big blow for them. They're already, missing De'Aaron Fox. Now without Domantas Sabonis, this team's looking thinner and thinner. I like Malik Monk, and I like Ellis coming off the bench. Now Malik Monk in the starting lineup. But those guys, it's just hit or miss with them. Sometimes they can get you 35, 40 points. Sometimes they'll get you 10 points or less. Just depends how they're shooting that night. This is a very, very streaky Kings team, especially with Zach LaVine as your main player now alongside DeMar DeRozan, who mainly takes 2-point shots. Could be an interesting game here for the Kings. If they're making their shots, they're going to win this one outright. But I'm going to take the Mavericks here on the money line. The Mavericks are playing decent basketball. They had the big trade with Luka. They've been trying to get themselves under their feet a little bit. Had that lost to Milwaukee in their last time out, 132 to 117. No defense whatsoever to speak of. I think they bounced back in this one against the Kings. Kyrie Irving, probably another huge night. Had a big night in the last one going up against the Bucks, 31 points. He's been on fire. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's because he trimmed his beard. He looks younger. He just looks like the younger Kyrie Irving. I think they win this game pretty easily. I'll take them on the money line. I think they're currently minus 1.5 on the spread, but I'll take the money line as the first play of the day. Second play. This is the one that's kind of iffy. I put the Rockets plus 11.5. Some things have to happen for me to stick with that 11.5. The Thunder are currently playing right now going up against San Antonio. It is 100 to 96. Thunder are playing on the road against San Antonio. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Defense struggling for the Thunder in this game, allowing 96 points. They still put up 100 points in the third quarter, but that could be a tightly contested game in the fourth quarter. Maybe they come back in this game a little bit tired, and that could affect them. They do get to play at home, so that's a bump for them. But the Rockets got the night off tonight. Now they have to travel to OKC. They're coming off a Kings loss, 113 to 103. But I'm looking at the injury report for the Rockets. We have Eason, questionable lower leg. Adams, questionable left ankle. Sengun, questionable back. Dylan Brooks, questionable right knee contusion. Amon Thompson, questionable right shoulder soreness. Fred VanVleet already ruled out in this game. I've talked about on the member side about Fred VanVleet. I really think that's the key. I don't know how it's the key, but whenever he was in the lineup, they were cooking, 10, 15 games for the All-Star break. He goes down, and then things just kind of sputtered out of control a little bit for the Rockets. If we get Sengun and Brooks playing, if we get Sengun, Brooks, and Thompson playing in this game, I'm going to take the points. But really, this line is indicating that the Thunder will be playing them without all those guys. So for right now, I'm going to change what it says on the graphic. I'm going to take the Thunder minus 11.5. If the Rockets, this is one of those games you're going to have to wait to bet until like 30 minutes before the game. But if Thompson, Brooks, and Goon, if we have the starting lineup minus Fred VanVleet, I will be taking the Rockets with the points. If not, I'm going to take the Thunder minus 11.5 as the second play. Sorry for the confusion, but the NBA is a wild, wild place. You don't know who's playing until 30 minutes before tip-off, sometimes not even that. But let's go take a look at the player props for tomorrow. A name you probably know from his last game is going to be Quentin Grimes to go over his total points. 12.5 is what it's been at over the last 5 or 6 games. Probably not going to be 12.5 in this game. We're probably going to see a little bit of a bump because he's coming off that 44-point game going up against the Warriors. 18 of 24 from the field, 6 of 9 from deep. Sometimes players just have these kind of games where they can't miss a shot. That's what Quentin Grimes had. He had 3 points against the Knicks before that, 9 points against the Bulls. He has been a decent option for the 76ers without Paul George and Tyrese Maxey at times. But with those two on the floor, usually this is the third or fourth option, especially with Kelly Oubre healthy as well. So I'm going to go 12.5 points. I'll play it up to 14.5. If it's anything higher than that, I'm out. I can see this one being dramatic over 16.5, 17.5. I'm not interested in that. If it's 12.5 to 13 to 14.5, I'll play it. But usually it's usually Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Kelly Oubre Jr. doing the bulk of the scoring. I love Quentin Grimes, pretty good player. 44 points against the Warriors. Probably not going to duplicate that in this game, but I will shoot for the 12.5 if we can get a 12.5 with the way he shot against the Warriors in the last game. So that's going to be the first play of the day. Second play tonight, Jonas Valanciunas. He is now the starting center for the Kings with Domantas Sabonis out. And I want to point out that he is scoring 8.4 points per game and 6 rebounds per game in 16 minutes per. He played 30 minutes against the Rockets. What did he do? 15 points, 14 rebounds. Put it at 8.5 because he's averaging 6.1, probably going to be a little bit higher than 8.5. I'll play this up to 11.5, 12.5. 30 minutes on the floor. That's a lot of minutes for the big man. He hasn't played those kind of minutes since a couple years ago with the Washington Wizards and with the Pelicans. So those are some heavy minutes for him. He's showing that he can play 30 minutes in the game. I'm all for it. 14 rebounds against the Rockets. Rockets aren't a very good shooting team, but this should be a decently close game going up against the Mavericks. I think the Mavericks will win, but it should be 110 to 106 kind of game. I like a lot of defensive rebounds on that side of the ball for Jonas Valanciunas. I'm going to take the over rebounds as the play. It could be 10.5, 11.5. I'm comfortable there. If it gets to 12.5, we'll see what happens. But I really think it's going to be like 10.5, 11.5, and I'm going to grab it over the total rebounds as the final play of the day. Let's go talk about the NBA recap graphic really quick. Mavericks on the money line going up against the Kings. Low-scoring game, probably like a 110, 115 to 108 kind of game, but I think the Mavericks at home will be able to take that game. This is the one that if the Rockets play their starters, I'm on the Rockets. If they don't play their starters, I'm on the Thunder. So we're going to have to wait and see on that one. For right now, Thunder minus 11.5 because all those guys are questionable on the injury report. Quentin Grimes over the total points. I'm going to cut it at 14.5. Anything above 14.5, I'm out on that. And then Jonas Valanciunas over his total rebounds. Going to cut that one at 12.5. I really think we're going to get kind of a discount here. 14 rebounds against the Rockets. He's been averaging 6 on the season. He is going to start. He's going to play a lot of minutes. So, somewhere around 9.5, 10.5 is what I'm thinking for his overall rebounds as the final play of the day. That's going to do it for the NBA recap for Monday, March 3rd slate of games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please drop a video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.